Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door, and well, given the like to dislike ratio of my short review of this movie, this isn't gonna be pretty, because it's not okay to think this film is, you know, average at best. Now, with this channel, I'm trying to be as open as possible. I've given some good reviews to some movies that people hate. I've given some bad reviews to movies people love. And I'm not mad at the people who downvoted this short review. They, who knows, maybe they didn't listen to what I said. Maybe they're just insecure about other people not liking a popular movie, but that is legitimately how I feel about this film, and I didn't say anything that mean. I just said that it's kind of meh, kind of average. What film is that, you might be asking? Point Break. From 1991. This film stars Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, Gary Busey, Lori Petty, and John C. McGinley. Now, this is a film about an FBI, an undercover FBI agent. He mixes in with these surfers. The FBI agent is played by Keanu Reeves, named Johnny Utah, and he meets this girl played by Lori Petty, who's a surfer, and she is friends with Bodie, this other surfer that is kind of well known around the parts. He's like a real thrill seeker. He doesn't matter what he does. He just wants the thrill of it. And Keanu has to find out who is doing all these bank robberies dressed as presidents. So this is one of those films. Again, I hate to go through this again. This is one of those films that back when it came out in 91, and even now, people love to talk about how fantastic it is. It's one of the best action films ever made, how it's one of Keanu Reeves' best performances, and I'll get to the performances. How it's like well shot, well edited, well done, just everything is good about it. And I can't help but ask why. Now, I don't hate the film. Let me get this out of the way. I gave it a 6. That's not that... For me, that just means it's passable. Because that's all I see with this. People acting as if there's something different in this that's not in a lot of action movies. I really don't see where they're coming from. Power to you if you see something in this that I didn't. I paid attention the entire over 2 hours. This film didn't need to be over 2 hours. Doesn't really have the plot for it. It has the plot of maybe 90 minutes. The film has overextended sequences that really should have been cut down, beefed up the pace a bit. Maybe it would have been better for me, but yeah, I don't really see what makes this a classic action movie. Now, just let me go ahead with the performances. Keanu Reeves as Johnny Utah, FBI agent sent to be undercover with these surfers. He's not terrible in the film. I've heard many critics say that this is one, and just people on Letterboxd say this is one of his better performances. I completely disagree with that. I think he's very bored looking here. I think he was better in films like Constantine. He was better in The Matrix even though I'm not crazy about his performance in The Matrix. He's definitely better in John Wick. John Wick is a better action movie than this, because John Wick didn't pussyfoot around. This film pussyfooted around when in the bits where it doesn't develop characters. It should have been developing the characters, so I gave a shit. But yeah, he is better in John Wick. John Wick is a better action movie. Any of the John Wick movies is better than this. I'm flat out saying that. That's how I feel. May not be how you feel. I think all three of them are better than this, especially in the action scenes, because in the action scenes in John Wick, a lot of shit is happening. Here, they're pretty pedestrian, I hate to say. Like, there were better action scenes in fucking Barbed Wire. And I know a lot of people probably don't even know what the fuck that is. Pamela Anderson action movie, comic book. I kind of have a so bad it's good love for that movie, but I also just have so much fucking fun when watching it. I never get bored watching Barbed Wire. Yes, Pamela Anderson can't act for shit. Most of the cast can't act for shit. Steve Railsbeck should have been in it more. There isn't a ton of action in Barbed Wire, but when there is, it was impactful. I had a lot of fun with it, since it's going for a more neo-noir thing. But anyway, this film, Keanu Reeves, he's okay. Patrick Swayze is Bodhi. Now, the poster of this film lies again. Patrick Swayze's name is first, and that's Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is the main character. Patrick Swayze is probably in the film less than 20 minutes. And I do mean that. Patrick Swayze as Bodhi, he works as this weird surfer dude. He has his moments of acting that are really good. Like when they're skydiving, I buy him skydiving. The moments where he mourns the loss of a friend, those work. But for the most part, I just wish he was in the movie more. Gary Busey as Angela Pappas, who is Keanu Reeves' character's partner. He's fun. I always like to see Gary Busey in these types of films. This wasn't long after the motorcycle crash, and you can kind of tell, and I don't mean that in a mean way, I mean that in, you can tell that his face is a bit messed up, and I mean, I've always worried about that, and I'm kind of glad that he's not going to be doing any cons anymore after what happened. He shouldn't have been doing cons like that, and I hope the best for him. I hope he gets better. Lori Petty as Tyler, love interest, blah blah blah. She was fine. She's kind of just there. I'm not going to go into the whole debate about, oh, a woman with no agency, because not every movie needs a woman with agency. Not every movie has to have a badass female character. Commando is not a bad film because the little girl doesn't know how to fight. Or Rae Dawn Chong in that is kind of a comedic character. It's okay to have a comedic female character or a damsel in distress. Perfectly fine. So all these people that bitch about movies and say that makes a movie bad, you are shit at watching movies, because you're literally just shitting on a movie for having a female character that has no agency. But yeah, Lori Petty's fine. I've always liked her. John C. McGinley, he's like the leader at the FBI. He's fine. He is very over the top, and it doesn't really work most of the time. It just feels like he's a walking, talking stereotype. And for a film that's supposedly subversive and the action genre is just fantastic in every way, his acting was kind of missing something. Now, action-wise, about the action of the film. The back of the Blu-ray lists what to expect in the film. This quote from L.A. Reader: the action, surfing, football, fistfights, gunfights, bank robberies, car chases, skydiving never lets up. Now, surfing. Yes, there are multiple scenes of characters surfing, and it's well filmed. Surfing doesn't exactly make for exciting filmmaking, though. It's kind of like when a martial arts movie is made and you have people doing mostly things that aren't, real moves, but because most martial arts are just defensive and not offensive. So just doing defensive martial arts isn't really exciting for a film, So I feel like that's kind of translating here. Surfing, doing surfing, surfing in real life is fun, but watching someone surf is boring, at least to me. Football. There's a short football game on the beach between Bodhi and Johnny Utah and all these other surfing people. It's kind of just there. fist fights. There's one fist fight with Johnny against these other, like, surfers. He's, like, on their turf or something, and there's a fist fight at the end. They're both very unspecial. I'm not just saying this to shit on the movie. Gunfights, there's one in a house against the surfers, and there's one near the end against the bank robbers. They're fine. They're well staged, I guess, but not a ton happens for plot reasons, and I'll get to spoilers in a bit near the end of the video, because I don't like spoiling movies, but I need to discuss the twist and all of that. Bank robberies. There's 2 bank robberies in the film. They're kind of just there. Heat. If you want better bank robberies and a better film, watch Heat. Even The Vault, which was a kind of action horror film, I liked that better than this. But yeah, car chases. There's one car chase. They keep saying is. The car chase is very choppily edited. It's shot from outside of cars, looking in, and you can really... It really messes with the geography of it, because you can't tell who is where. You can't tell if it's Bodie's... Or, not Bodie. You can't tell if it's Johnny Utah's car or the dead president's car. And the skydiving. That was the most impressive sequence in the film. I just think that with something like that, like, it's a cool sequence. I'll give it that. That's a fun sequence. It looks like the actors are actually skydiving, which I'm pretty sure they are. They got some really cool shots of them in the air. Maybe there were stunt doubles at some point, but it's kind of hard to tell for me. But yeah, that's the action that this is that makes this supposedly a, like, classic, and I don't really see that, because the action at best is mediocre. It's at best what I've seen better action in episodes of CSI Miami. I've seen better action in episodes of... What was that show? It was Acapulco Heat, I think it's called. Sweating Bullets, Acapulco Heat, something like that. It's a Canadian action show from the 90s. That, with, I think Nicole DeBoer from Cube is in it. That had better action. I've seen better action in, like, so many TV shows than in this $24 million budget movie. And I really don't see where the budget went. Other than the skydiving sequences and the surfing sequences, I've seen better water sequences in movies from decades before. Thunderball, from 1965, I think. That has better looking underwater sequences. The underwater sequences in that film were very enthralling, even now. Like, when I rewatched Thunderball, I had so much fun with that movie, and it's my second favorite Sean Connery Bond film. Well, either that or From Russia with Love. But, like, I really don't understand what this film has to offer, action-wise. Even then, the story isn't that much. It's very cookie cutter. Young, dumb, full of cum, FBI agent. They do say that in the movie. John C. McGinley says, young, dumb, full of cum. Former quarterbacker, injured his leg, so he went to law school, became an FBI agent. He's paired up with a disgruntled one named Gary, played by Carrie Busey, and he has to go undercover with the surfer. And suspicions arise. I'll just get the pros and cons out of the way so that I can get to the fucking spoiler. 'Cause if I'm being honest, this film, it's kind of hard to talk about its problems without going into spoilers. So, let me get my notepad open so that I'll be ready to jot down the timestamp. But yeah, pros. Patrick Swayze wasn't bad. Gary Busey wasn't bad. Lori Petty. It was nice seeing them together. The cinematography during the surfing sequences and the skydiving were great. It was great cinematography. The score by Mark Isham was decent. It's nothing I haven't heard before. It's very 90s and it's kind of generic in parts. I'm trying to think, because I don't hate this film. That's the issue. I don't hate this film, but I'm mad that I don't like it more. I'm mad that it's not what people are saying it is. And I don't mean that to be mean. I'm saying because people built this up to be one of the best action films ever, having some of the best action sequences. Now, you can say that about Die Hard, and I'm not gonna, say, nuh-uh. Because I really like Die Hard. I really like Die Hard. I really like Die Hard 2. Love Die Hard 3. Okay, I love Die Hard. Well, I might be one of the few people who likes Die Hard 2 more than the first. But, even Live Free or Die Hard, I think is an awesome experience, especially action-wise. It has some of the most insane action set pieces of the series. Never saw a Good Day to Die Hard. Maybe someday I'll do a marathon or something. But yeah, just with this film, it's kind of hard to say these things about it. Even though I won't agree with someone on Die Hard being the best action film ever, I'm pretty sure I've seen action films that have had better action, better acting, better many things. But it's still a great action film. This film feels like an okay an okay crime thriller. It's an okay crime thriller, and I've heard people compare this to Fast and Furious. I'm pretty sure I like Fast and Furious more. Even though I know that's something people get really mad when others say. As people are with my opinion in my short. But cons, yes. I think Keanu Reeves, it's showing his kind of minute range at this point, because he wasn't really good when he started out, I don't think, in most films. Maybe it's Catherine Bigelow's direction, but I do like Catherine Bigelow as a director. I liked Blue Steel. I just didn't like how the villain was underdeveloped, and nothing he did really made any sense, and there was no real reason to it. It kind of made it feel come off kind of cheap, as if there were maybe 15 minutes of the film missing. Trying to think if I've seen other films of hers. I mean, I want to see more of her films, and I have more of her films, but yeah. The action, again, is very bland, generic, not much to say. Characters are very underdeveloped for the most part. The development they get it's usually just saying the same thing over and over. Fuck it. I'm gonna go into spoilers. So, spoiler. I'm gonna put up front cover. Spoilers ahead. Major spoilers, because I'm going to be spoiling the twists and talking about them in detail. So there's as soon as it's confirmed, as soon as you hear Gary Busey's character's theory that the dead presidents are surfers and Johnny is hanging out later with surfers, my immediate thought was, oh, it's Bodhi and his crew. But I don't understand how Johnny doesn't realize this until way later after hearing this, and I don't really understand why. Now, for a film that's supposed to be like one of the best action films ever, I know you're not. These are the same people that say, "Oh, these action films may have the good action, but they don't have a good plot." This film does not have a good plot, and its twist makes no sense. I mean, okay, it makes sense, but it's not a twist, really. Immediately, I was like, okay, something's off with Patrick Swayze's character. He's a surfer. He goes for the big waves, and like, it's kind of just haphazardly revealed because the characters like say each other's names or something when they're about to rob the last bank, and it just kind of comes off cheap the way they revealed it and really tacky. This and another thing with this whole reveal, Johnny Utah, Keanu Reeves' character, gets a lot of people killed that do not need to be killed or did not need to get killed. People die in the last bank robbery because he has to go into the bank with well, fuck, I forgot his name already. Bodhi. He's forced to go into the bank with Bodhi because Bodhi knows that him and the girl are together, and he knows that he's FBI. So he forces him to rob a bank with him. Johnny has a shotgun and just chooses not to do anything. I understand at this point a little bit because he has to do this with them and help them get away in order to release the girl who he's still in love with. And there's like an off-duty cop in the bank that just tries to be a hero for no fucking reason. It's so stupid. It makes no fucking sense. They're literally about to leave. He could just do nothing and he can still be a hero. And Johnny is looking in their direction, so I don't know why doesn't he stop them? Because them starting to the shooting gets more people hurt, and it doesn't really make sense that he just like allows this to happen. And later in the film, when it's him and Gary Busey's character have them down, and Gary Busey's hiding out of sight, one of Patrick Swayze's people comes up from behind him. Johnny's not paying attention, so his partner, Gary Busey, gets shot and killed. And then Johnny goes into the plane with Bodhi and just really... He's there, he's like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to jump out. Just release him already. Or release her, excuse me. Release the girl. And then he doesn't. And then Johnny jumps out of the plane after him. So he wasn't even going to be a man of his word. This is all leading up to the ending, which pisses me off. It's all leading up to the stupid fucking ending. But Keanu jumps after him. He says, pull the chute. He has a gun in one hand, the parachute. He'd have to let go of the gun to grab the parachute, or he shoots him and then there's no parachute. Or he can't call in to save the girl. And then they hit the ground, and then he just lets him drive away. I thought that was where it was going to end. And I was like, okay, it's a bad ending, but whatever. The film's finally over. But then it cuts to later in Australia. Bodhi was talking about the highest wave he ever sailed was in Australia, and he was waiting for the 50-year storm so that he could surf the storm waves. Keanu goes there, finds Patrick Swayze, and he cuffs himself to him. And then Patrick says, "Oh, I want to surf one last wave." Immediately, I was like, he's gonna escape if you let him go, so don't do it. And he says, "Man, you're not gonna let me like die behind bars, are you? Like, dude, you got people killed. You got your own brother killed. And you're gonna lecture him on, oh, you're not gonna be able to live the thrill anymore if you're behind bars. You'd rather be dead. You shouldn't have done what you did. You shouldn't. I don't care. They talk about how their plan wasn't just to steal the money. It was living for the thrill of something. They never really explain it. They're very vague about it. For a film that's like one of the best action films ever, the bad guy's plan really doesn't make any fucking sense. And they're trying to rationalize bad guys not being bad, which is what happens with all these movies like Suicide Squad and Black Adam and all that, where they can't make a film about bad guys being bad and that being the point. They have to make them good bad, where they maybe swear a bit, but they're still doing something for good. And it pisses me off that no one can actually try to do something. At least Brightburn did what it said on the tin. But this ending pisses me off. He lets him go. He starts surfing, and the cops are like, he's getting away. And then Johnny says, no, he's not. And then he starts surfing the wave, and then you see him like break out, or not break out. You see him crash, and then they're like, crazy bastard's gonna. Is he coming back? He better be coming back. And then he says, no, he's not. And then he throws his FBI badge in the water, and then it cuts to credits. This ending makes no fucking sense. I understand they're trying to do a whole, oh, he kind of comes over to the side of the bad guys while being undercover. But this makes him an even more unlikable character than he already was. And I'm not usually this pissed off. I don't even hate the movie. It's just this part of the film pisses me off. And it is one of the worst characters I have possibly seen in, like, this kind of budget movie. Like, I understand what they're trying to do. I don't like what they're trying to do. And all these fucking idiots on Letterboxd that review the film and say this retarded shit, I do not know where they get this from. They talk about the movie and they're like this review, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I know you want me so bad it's like acid in your mouth. Dude, could you be any gayer? Young dub full of cum. Why did he say that? All of these reviews are trying to say that, oh god. When Keanu Reeves identifies the subjects because he recognizes a guy's bare ass from the bank security footage. Yup, homoeroticism will always be the backbone of action movies. Nothing new, changed. Nothing new, nothing changed. That's not what happens. He doesn't recognize the guy by his bare ass. He recognizes that there's tan lines and that they're surfers and that Gary Busey's fucking like opinion is, or his thoughts on, oh, they're getting away by surfing. That's true. He doesn't recognize the robber by his bare ass. If you watched the fucking movie, you'd understand that. But literally, just all of these, like, all these stupid fucking reviews. Keanu Reeves in a crop top, 5 stars. Fellas, is it gay to look your bra in the eyes and say, I know you want me so bad it's like acid in your mouth? This movie could cure heterosexuality. Like acid in your mouth. Everyone keeps talking about fucking acid in your mouth. Like, I understand these people have daddy issues. I don't want these... They're the reason this movie has a 3.7 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And they're not talking about the movie, like, at all. They're just talking about their own insecurities that they're putting out on this movie. I am a bisexual person. I don't make that a big deal because I want to be treated like everyone else. I want to be treated as an equal. And I have been so far. But I hate seeing people like this just upvote a movie or they'll talk shit about a movie or be like, these gay coded characters. They're not gay coded. They're not homosexual characters. They are heterosexual. You don't need to put your own insecurities out on a movie in order to enjoy it. Gay people should be able to enjoy films with straight characters, directed by straight males, straight females, even straight female action movies. They should be able to enjoy those. We don't need a gay action movie just for gay people. Oh god. I can't stand these idiots anymore. But yeah, there's not much else to say. I don't think this is a great film. I don't think this is a terrible film. I think it's okay. It's just the characters are easily one of the worst parts about it. The action really isn't that good. The score even wasn't that good. The music in the menu was better. There's a song in the Blu-ray menu. There's a song that came out like 5 years after the movie. Power Drive by Curtis Schwartz. That's a fine song. I like that song more than the entire movie. But yeah, I can't say much more. It's a boring ass movie. There's nothing really to write home about it. It's just okay. The film I reviewed yesterday, Vanquish, I'd rather watch that. You know why? It didn't feel the need. It didn't feel the need to go to 2 hours. 2, while the acting wasn't as good as this, and that's kind of a lower bar, I'd rather watch the actors in Vanquish because it's kind of funny. 3, Vanquish tried something different with its editing that failed, but it was still interesting to see it do its weird visual style thing. 4, well, again, it was better paced, Vanquish. But yeah, like, Vanquish didn't feel the need to outstay its welcome. This film, I know no one's going to agree with me. I'd rather watch Vanquish than that movie. I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'd rather watch Vanquish. Because at least I got something out of Vanquish. It was at least a little bit of fun. But yeah. That's going to be it for me. If you want to hate on me or whatever in the comments, go ahead. I invite it. I'll debate all day why I do not think this is a great action film. Comment, ring the notification bell, subscribe, like, whatever. Movie Review Next Door, out.